keyholes were introduced in Dream Drop Distance, in which, via flashback cutscenes, Yensid implies these facts. There are only 7 to mirror the 7 pure lights.
As there are 7 pure lights, there are 7 sleeping keyholes.
They only exist in the sleeping worlds.
But your new goals, the sleeping keyholes, are harder to reach. You'll recall in your first journey that you brought many worlds back from the darkness, but some never returned completely. They still sleep, cut off from all outside channels. Not even the Heartless can enter.
And that sleeping keyholes will guide Sora and Riku through their exam.
One dream is connected to another, which means we must choose in which sleeping world you will begin. I will return you to the Destiny Islands just before they were swallowed by the darkness and plunged into sleep. Once dreams take you, you must let them guide you to the sleeping worlds.
But it seems, based on what we actually see and experience further on in Dream Drop Distance, as well as Kingdom Hearts 3, there are some details on sleeping keyholes that Yensid either neglects to say, or he's flat out contradicted. So to help clear up some confusion, let's talk about sleeping keyholes. This answer actually depends on a variable that has yet to be confirmed. In Dream Drop Distance alone, we see at least 10 sleeping keyholes, and that's assuming that the keyholes that Sora and Riku unlock by themselves at all the Disney worlds are the same ones, rather than there being 2 at the grid, 2 at Prankster's Paradise, etc., etc. Adding the 3 sleeping keyholes we see in Kingdom Hearts 3 brings us to a total of 13 sleeping keyholes, almost twice the number that Yensid states. But the variable I previously mentioned is that there's a chance that there are only 7 sleeping keyholes, and they can be unlocked over and over and just cycle through, each being used more than once throughout Dream Drop Distance and Kingdom Hearts 3. This idea, though, would imply that the 7 sleeping keyholes don't belong to any particular world or person, since by the time Riku uses 2 of them to awaken Sora, Riku had already unlocked all 7 sleeping keyholes the first time. So, they would all have to be multi-purposeful, since we can't tell which 2 of the 7 keyholes it was that appeared in Sora's Station of Awakening and later in Dream Destiny Islands. The other idea is that individual worlds, people, and functions all have their own corresponding sleeping keyholes. Yes, of course this does contradict the idea that there's only 7, but on the other hand, it does make sense of more particular sleeping keyholes, like say the one seen in Scala at Kylum in Kingdom Hearts 3. So how many are there? From what I found, the 2 possible answers to this are either only 7 sleeping keyholes and they all alternatively tag in whenever used, not belonging to any particular world, person, or function. Or there are way more than 7 after all, with each world and person's heart having its own designated sleeping keyhole. For now, we can take Yensid's word and think that there are only 7 that are used multiple times. But I personally still think that we should keep an open mind should this lore ever be later contradicted or retconned. If it is going to be retconned in the future, then I suspect Nomura may end up saying that it only takes 7 sleeping keyholes out of the many that there are to obtain the power of waking. And who knows, maybe that is what Yensid meant after all, and I just misunderstood. The way Yensid talks about sleeping keyholes makes it seem like they're only there to be unlocked, and that by being unlocked, they'll guide Sora and Riku to the next sleeping world. But young Xehanort states that it was the members of the new organization themselves that guided Sora and Riku, and not the sleeping keyholes. But just because the sleeping keyholes are not responsible for pointing Sora and Riku in the next direction, doesn't mean sleeping keyholes aren't doorways at all, because they definitely are. It seems only Keyblade wielders, like Sora and Riku, can use the sleeping keyholes to go from one sleeping world to another, as well as Dream Eaters, like we see with the Nightmare Spellican, who left Dream Traverse Town to go to Symphony of Sorcery. But sleeping keyholes don't just allow someone to enter or exit a particular sleeping world. They also allow someone to enter or exit the realm of sleep entirely. And there are multiple times we see this done. In Dream Drop Distance, Sora uses one at the Mysterious Tower, a world Sora and Riku already woke up earlier in Dream Drop Distance, to re-enter a dream Traverse Town. In Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora uses one in the final world to re-enter the Station of Awakening, a location now confirmed to be in the Realm of Sleep. The Guardians of Light enter through one to reach Scala et Kylum, which is commonly speculated to only be a dream version from Xehanort's memory, similar to Sora's dream of Destiny Islands Riku reached in Dream Drop Distance. Sora uses one again in the Keyblade Graveyard to presumably enter the Station of Awakening, where he can access either the currently unnamed Starfield place he previously found Kairi at, or the final world, where Sora may think Kairi is located now based on how that's where he found Naminé before. Either areas are accessible via the Realm of Sleep. Now while we're here, I theorize that the Sleeping Keyhole's function of allowing one to enter and exit the realm entirely even explains why Sora and Riku saw a sleeping keyhole in the grid, a world that supposedly cannot be a sleeping world since it's a world of data.
You think this is the realm of dreams, but there you are mistaken. Data does not dream, cannot dream. This world is real. You haven't the slightest idea where you are, that you have already wandered off the path.
For this particular world, I think the sleeping keyhole scene à la Cité des Cloches is a keyhole that let them leave the realm of sleep, and the sleeping keyhole scene at the grid let them re-enter the realm of sleep, so that they could continue forth to Prankster's Paradise. This is, of course, assuming you play the worlds in their recommended order, but either way, the two keyholes seen before and during the grid function the same. Keep in mind, this is just speculation. I will discuss the possibility of how Dream Eaters are in the grid, even though Data can't dream, in a future video. And finally, of course, sleeping keyholes can be used to awaken a world, which we see multiple times throughout Dream Drop Distance. Now one can still visit a dream of a world even if it's been woken from its sleep. I suspect this is because there seems to be a difference between a dream of a sleeping world and a dream a person has of that world. So for example, the dream Destiny Islands Riku visits at the end of Dream Drop Distance doesn't seem to be Destiny Island's sleeping world itself, but rather specifically a dream Sora has about that world. And that could be why Roxas, Ventus, and Xion are there. This could also explain why Sora was able to visit Sleeping Traverse Town again in the epilogue of Dream Drop Distance, even though that's one of the worlds he and Riku already woke up. It's possible that this was his own dream he was within and not Traverse Town's dream itself. But we'll talk more about Traverse Town and its split versions in another video since that trails away from Sleeping Keyholes. So once again, Sleeping Keyholes can be used for three things so far. 1. Traveling from Sleeping World to Sleeping World. 2. Entering or exiting the realm of sleep entirely. Or 3. Waking up a sleeping world. So, we can take these three rules to answer some other questions in Dream Drop Distance and Kingdom Hearts 3. Why did Sora and Riku unlock a sleeping keyhole in Traverse Town twice? Well, only their first visit they unlocked it, but both times they still needed it to access the next sleeping world. Another question is why do sleeping keyholes appear in Kingdom Hearts 3? Because that's a door Keyblade wielders use to access the realm of sleep, and so on and so on. Now initially, when I wrote my Dream Drop Distance analysis back in April, I thought that sleeping keyholes could be used to awaken a person's heart, like Riku did to Sora in Dream Drop Distance. But back then I also knew that for whatever reason, Sora waking up Ventus in Kingdom Hearts 3 was a different case, as the keyhole that appeared then didn't have a shattering effect. In my head back then, it was a sleeping keyhole that wasn't activated for some reason. But I realize now that the keyhole Sora used to wake up Ventus wasn't a sleeping keyhole at all. Let's compare the sleeping keyhole Riku used for Sora's Station of Awakening to the keyhole Sora used for Ven's. The keyhole Riku used was one of the normal sleeping keyholes we saw throughout Dream Drop Distance. It's a white outline of a keyhole shape, and it does have the shattering effect. The keyhole Sora used, however, was a solid keyhole shape, and it did not have the shattering effect. Because of this, I've come to the conclusion that the keyhole Riku used was not for waking up Sora, but rather acted as a doorway so Riku could enter Sora's dream of Destiny Island. And it is there, by talking to Roxas, Ventus, and Xion, that Riku woke up Sora. This is also stated by Ansem the Wise a moment later.
Then you came here, and you were questioned by 3 young people. That was the final key to awaken him. Sora is awake.
So Riku used a sleeping keyhole to enter, as well as exit, Sora's dream of Destiny Islands, not to wake Sora up. Because of this, we can speculate that if Sora didn't have other hearts within his, that Riku could have done what Sora did with Ventus in Kingdom Hearts 3, and use a normal keyhole to awaken his heart right then and there. So, with all of this said, what we've seen of sleeping keyholes often directly contradicts what Yensid tells Sora and Riku about them. But I hope that overall I still have cleared up some confusion about how they work, since they're seen in the awake world, and how there could be more than 7 after all. But remember that sleeping keyholes aren't the only way to enter or exit the realm of sleep. We've still got a lot of ground to cover in Dream Drop Discuss.